Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Back in the book, out here in the lab. I'm back in the book. Got my little teaching hat on. This would mean I'm about to do some work. I got some lessons to teach from the book. So let's get this party started. You know what we do. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is a way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Okay. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Speaking of my yacht, right thinkers, let's talk about good association. What that mean? We call it the teacher-disciple relationship. Okay? I teach, you learn. Let's go. Good association. We got the goddess, Aset, who invites us to seek after what? Self-knowledge. From who? The first and the chief being. Got it? How? By remaining near and dwelling continually with her. I tell you, I practice Maya. I eat, sleep, and drink Maya. That's the goddess that I keep close to. Aset gives you the same concept. Watch this. She's in here too. From the temple of Aset. That's a phrase. Now, in the story I gave you a while ago of Ra and Aset, the goddess obtains what? The highest knowledge. From who? Ra. He tells her what? His true name. This implies that Aset had learned what? The very nature of the divine. And it is this knowledge of which leads what? To spiritual enlightenment, self-knowledge, true knowledge. It is this power that it is by this power that she is now how she was able to what? Resurrect Asar, her husband, and Haru, her son. She rose both people from the dead. Okay, Asar didn't last long. Haru came back to life. Watch this. Likewise, it is by this very knowledge. Again, knowledge is power. I tell you that. Intellect means nothing. Very knowledge that she is able to lead spiritual aspirants to what? To attain the same resurrection and immortality within themselves. It's getting good. In order to obtain this knowledge, what you got to do? What you got to do? You, the aspirant, must come into contact with this goddess and remain with her perpetually, become conscious, so as to what? Learn it and realize it in what? Your life. Make it part of your life. Become Aset. Then this practice, this daily practice is known as, you ready? Good association, or association with the what? The wise, sage, or saints. And since Aset is wisdom, what? Personified. She's the absolute personification of wisdom, intuitive knowledge. There is no better personality to come into contact with. Okay? And since she manifests in the form of what? Sages and saints, these people should be prime objects of what? Interest for every spiritual aspirant. You want you a what? Spiritual preceptor, a teacher. If you're a student, you need a teacher. And be a teacher, you need students. So good association works for both sides, okay? It's a hand in. If there's a situation where one person benefits and the other don't, that's not a good situation. That's not balanced. It should be a win for you and a win for them. That's a good deal. We both should benefit from interacting. Make sense? Okay, that's what they're trying to teach. That's what Mayat represents. And if we approach the temple of the goddess rightly, meaning somebody who representing her teachings, we shall obtain what? The knowledge of that eternal and self-existent being. God, self-created, eternal. That's who you want to be in communication with. You want to become God conscious. You want to be spiritually disciplined in your what? Daily life. That keeps you living and doing right. Well, it do me. I don't know about somebody else. All right, let me go. Good association is really in the form, if done right, it's a form of what they call group therapy and counseling. Why? Because it is similar to the process of what? Psychotherapy. But from the Western psychologists, helping the individual to what? See the error in their understanding, which is causing the inability to cope with the world. We have psychological problems. If a girl says she wants to be a boy, that's a psychological problem. If a boy thinks he wants to be a girl, he thinks he's a girl, that's a psychological problem. Deal with it from that aspect. Don't give them an opportunity to fulfill that nonsense. Clear the head up, get them back to where they need to be. That's therapy, psychotherapy, whatever you want to call it. But the major difference between good association in the yoga philosophy as opposed to your traditional Western forms of what they call group therapy, I did that, it don't work. And you got individual counseling, depending on who it is that through what? Your spiritual preceptor. I tried to help a bunch of people. And when I gave my lessons, what I looked for was personal, intestinal fortitude, samatsa. After my classes, I gave out handouts every week, gave them handouts to read. We never got finished with them during the class, never enough time to get them ready. So I do that purposely. Not near one of my students took the time out to study outside the class. I don't institute homework. I'm not that, no. I want you to have the wherewithal to make it important to you to do. And none of them did that. And that's why they all failed. Moving on. Good association. Watch this. Assists and urges you, the individual, to have an understanding of your transcendental true self, trying to get you to know God. You ain't got to go to church for that. I don't recommend that. I say study, learn, and practice for yourself. You can go to church to fellowship, but you ain't going to find God in church. That's all I'm saying. You should already have God before you go to church. That's all. And tradition, watch this. The traditional treatments seek to only help the individual to what? Cope with life situations, which produce what? Stress and mental anguish. Why? They ain't really getting it. Something's missing. They're not enlightened. They're not having self-knowledge of themselves, so they can't cope with situations. And from a yogic point of view, ordinary human life is based on what? Erroneous view of existence. Y'all misinterpret a lot of stuff. And psychological disciplines, which we feed into nonsense, which do not include a good understanding of the human soul. We don't know ourselves. We know everything but that. And also is based on, you ready? Ignorance. That's our biggest problem. Thus, treatments which are based on, again, ignorance cannot and will not provide an effective and abiding result. It's like a Band-Aid for operation. It ain't gonna work. Okay, they ain't gonna do nothing. Moving on. So, from this point of view, modern psychology and modern medical science must be understood as what? Disciplines which are only in their infancy states at this time, even today. Why? Because they have not yet totally acknowledged and the ability to discover what? The hidden mysteries of the soul. Thyself, the real you. A lot of people perpetrating and all, I hope, no, but a lot of people miss the boat. But ordinary psychology is useful, what? In taking extremely degraded individuals, meaning psychotic. The ones that just way up the deep end. We used to have psychiatric hospitals. I went in one. And that was for those who really went a little bit too far. Okay, nervous breakdowns, overwork, and they had a whole bunch of political names for it. Okay, but they just lost touch with reality. They had to take a sit down and gather themselves. But from the depths of what? Abnormality, and to some degree, helping them to what? Become lucid enough. Pump them up with drugs, Thorazine, and put them on some kind of routine on a daily to exist in the world, to sort of bring them back to reality. That didn't work. That didn't work. If you drugging me up, I can't become real on drugs. So that didn't work. But however, this level of existence and what modern psychology now considers to be normal is not considered normal by yogic or science philosophy. Mental abnormalities exist to the degree of what? Intensification of what? One's ego. We are the most egoistic driven people on the planet. And it is accompanying what? Complexes, fetters, problems daily. Okay? And the state of enlightenment or obtaining self-knowledge is then what? The only state that can really be called the state of optimal mental health. If you don't have self-knowledge, you are mentally ill. I'm just saying. How do you take care of that problem? Good association. Watch this. Here we go. This where I come in at. Good association is what? Is a good teacher-disciple relationship. I'm the teacher, you're the disciple. I teach, you tune in, get your lessons, practice it, and you'll be fine. Wherein yogic teachings, right, thinking philosophy, are presented when daily for what? To promote spiritual enlightenment and thus, hey, to your mental and physical health. The more you know about yourself, the more you understand how the body works, the better you can maintain it. Again, your chakras is important to have them open and let the kundalini flow. So it's important that you what? Live right. That's how it happens automatically. Whether you know it, knowledge don't make a difference. If you living right, though the serpent will arise. Now, through continuous, watch this, continuous association with who? A sage or other spiritually advanced personality, a preacher, a pastor, somebody who's knowing what they're doing, and you, the aspirant, can be led to now discover his or her what? True spiritual identity. With some tutelage, with some aid, with some good assistance, some good association will help you do just that. That's what it's for. Now, when this process occurs, your general health of you, the individual, is now what? It seems to improve. I have allergies. Flare up every time I eat something wrong and I wake up, something swollen. Yesterday it was my whole tongue. I couldn't even breathe out my mouth. Okay, scary situation. But yeah, I don't control that. Okay, I deal with it best I can. But what happens is my health has been good for over the last 10 years. That's what I'm saying. Little stuff that I got to deal with. Okay, I'll deal with that. Oh, you got to go to the hospital. No, I'm not going to the hospital. No, I'm not going to the hospital. I wanted them, so yeah, I'm not easy to go in that place. All right, but your health would improve. Why? Because your mental complexes, no stress. I hear people say, I'm stressed and not blessed, I'm blessed and not stressed, whatever, that phrase. But what they're saying is, I don't worry about things I can't control. And that's a good attitude. That's a good approach. Give it to the higher power. And your mental complexes and your stresses will diminish. And in so doing this, now even your body is able to what? Maintain itself on autopilot, so to speak, at more optimal level. Okay? Note, with few exceptions, Dr. Clark, no exceptions, television does not provide good associations. But they got this, it's programming. It's called programming for a reason, and that's what it's doing, telling lies to your vision. Moving on, you should strive to curb your viewing time of TV in the beginning of what? Your program for what? For the next 3 years. See right there, when you hit time, when people put years, you just ain't gonna become a right thinker in a few months. Or no, I got one of my students for 5 years now. Okay, reached mastery, but that's how long it took. We didn't start out, we're going to take 5 years. When he reached it is when he reached it. And in life, a casual time spent watching an educational television show may be useful in the beginning as a stimulation, okay, stimulating your mind. However, when television, them sitcoms and all them, whatever else you like to watch on there, sports, whatever it is, they become a necessity to you, you spend much of your time glued to that damn TV for what? Now, your personal entertainment. Now, it got you. Now, it sucks you in. Hours of just nonsensical information, useless information, maybe a chuckle or laugh, or maybe a little information here and there, but nothing substantial. So that's what they're telling. Television, here we go, promotes dullness. It ain't never enlightened nobody of the mind and intellectual weakness, which leads to what? Spiritual insensitivity or spiritual ignorance. It ain't enlightening you. It's not helping you. So I'm just saying. Also, this is another problem about good association. Hanging out with those people who are Satanian in nature, which means, bad people. Watch this. Those who are continuously affected by these concepts. They're angry all the time. They show hatred for people. They're greedy. They're lustful. They're impulsive. They're selfish. They're brutish. They're forceful. They're sometimes demonic in their thoughts. They're thugs. They're thievery. They result to violence, etc. You know the kind of people? You have those qualities in you. Never mind them people. Look at your own self. If any of these things is in you, you need to be checking you. Okay? That's what the point is. And all these things are what? Detrimental to your mental peace of mind of you, the aspirant, especially to a neophyte, a beginner, somebody who just starting out. You don't have a clue. So pay attention and listen to what's being said to you by somebody who know what they're doing, so it can help you to do the same thing for yourself, okay? And those who are continuously, moving around, continuously argumentative, the kind of people, and they are constantly agitated. They are afflicted with intense identification with their bodies and their senses, and are unaware of their divine nature, the true self, the God in them. They're too busy pointing out all the negative, living and accentuating all the bad stuff about themselves. They miss the forest for the trees, so to speak. Know thyself, meaning you and God are one, not all this ignorant nonsense that humans fall victim of. It's okay, but you got to rise above that. That's why I'm here to help you. An important feature, I'm about to wrap it up, is that this state of mind, which is associated with those who are virtuous or vicious. Your choice. Again, with Maya, there have to be a choice. You have to have a choice. If not, it's not free. It's not your will. Not your call. If it's mandatory, you got to go with it. If it's a decision you got to make, it should be your choice. But you got the vicious, you got a choice of being virtuous or vicious. And watch this. Vicious is that tranquility, that repose, and peace are characteristic of what? A virtuous person, while frantic movements and struggle are associated with what? The vicious person. When you do stuff that's wrong, everybody waits for that, what? The shoe to drop to know anybody might hear me. When you sneaky, you always looking over your back. You always looking around. You know the kind of people. When the police see you walking, and you always like this, you done something wrong. A person got nothing to worry about. He walking straight, no problem. When I see police, I just focus. No, I'm one with that. No, what? They got reason to pull you over. What you looking for? Where you at? What you going on? Probable cause. Okay, let me wrap this up. But these same characteristics that you carry of what? The virtue or vices are mentioned in both the ancient Egyptian philosophy we call Maya, and even in the Indian Dharma system or moral development, and the need for a state of what? Peacefulness of mind, and is also emphasized as an imperative feature without which progress on your spiritual path to enlightenment cannot occur. You cannot be egoistic. You can't serve two gods, so to speak. You gotta have to do one or the other. That's the free will. That's the choice. You can do right, you can do wrong. Moving on. And you can gradually wean yourself off of the things that don't do you no good, like television and all the other negative people that you associate with, starting just cut them loose. When I started living right, all my friends all of a sudden, they know I ain't got none, okay? But I'm still doing me. I'm living right, doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm happy and content. So would you want to be friends and upset and stressed, or no friends and happy? I take no friend. Okay, now, but you can gradually move by and engage in what? In them less and less until what? Until they are no longer needed or no longer being around you. You got no use for them. If somebody not doing nothing for you, why are you around them? What's the purpose? And watch this. Now, through the beginning, though in the beginning, you must put forth your conscious efforts, your personal, to what? To abstain. That means don't do from these practices. Abstaining means not doing something, not just sex. How about not being around people who do things that you don't want to do? I'm not going to be around people who don't do what I do. Simple as that. You should have the wherewithal to do that. And when you abstain from these practices, and now to engage in what? Your personal spiritual work. That's internal. Spiritual is inside. And the process now becomes easier for you, and it's easier until what? Until there is no more effort needed to sustain or withdraw from these activities. I don't miss not watching sports. I don't miss not hanging out and smoking with my buddies, playing cards, doing that. Nah, I don't miss none of that. It was fun when I was doing it, yeah, but I don't miss it. Moving on. Why? I like what I'm doing now. And this is because what? Because the positive spiritual experiences will now provide such a sense of what? Self-gratification, self-relief, happiness, contentment, all that good stuff that you can only feel within yourself. I can't share that with you. You got to get it for yourself, okay? But when you do it, that you will lose your dependency on what? Other people and objects of the world, and instinctively you will be able to refrain from what? Bad association. Ding, 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 which will disrupt your growing sense and inner peace. Being around toxic people, being around negative people don't help you grow spiritually at all. It really is annoying. I've been around, man, I got to get away from it. Why? It don't work for me. That environment, I can't be in it. So I would extract myself from those situations around those people. Watch this. Now, in the meantime, you personally must work with your own mind to be able to abstain from negative thoughts that lead to negative activities to the best of your ability. It ain't easy, but you give it your best shot. If you fall short, pick yourself up and get back on the horse. You ain't got to go tell nobody, oh, I backslid. No. Keep it personal. Only you and him would know. That's all you need to know. Okay? That's your best ability to work within yourself. And watch this. You personally must understand that you are not giving anything up to be your best self. Only thing that don't serve you. In fact, you will be gaining a closer relationship. Well, I got no friends. Who I'm getting a close relationship with? You ready? With yourself. And your true fulfillment of your inner desires are being fulfilled when you know your true self, aka your higher self. Wrapping it up. In the ancient Egyptian mythology, the goddess, watch this, she takes on many forms in order to to impart the spiritual wisdom in the teachings to those who are in search of it. Watch this. And sometimes she's in the form of Aset, which she is the wisdom. And sometimes she's in the form of my girl, Maya. She is righteous action personified, selfless service, doing what's right, divine actions, reciprocity, order. Everything that's good, that's what Maya represents. When you practice Maya, those are the things that you do. Okay? Wrapping it up. However, we are always receiving our instructions from the same goddess. I said, my girl. She works with Maya. Again, it's a female thing. Intuitive knowledge and wisdom is given to us by the female aspect of our brain. Understand that we got a male and female aspect. Work the female side. Why? You need to have your emotions under control. You need to be able to control your lower nature. And practicing that will help you do that with good association. I'm here for you if you need me. Just tune in. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back. You know the deal. But in closing, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away.